America has been dealing with the coronavirus for weeks now, and in our area, Governors Tom Wolf, Phil Murphy, John Carney wasted no time issuing stay-at-home orders. But believe it or not, there are still several states that just don't have them. Dr. Jen Caudle joins us now to talk about the difference it may or may not be working. Dr. Jen, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Dr. Jen, let's talk about this. There are some states that have not issued these stay-at-home orders. In your idea, as a physician, is this making a difference for those states or not?
Well, let me first say that I think that there should be mandatory stay-at-home orders. I think all states should have stay-at-home orders. We know that social distancing is one of the most important things that we can do. We need all states to be doing this. So, and we do know that it will and can, and some experts are saying it is already making a difference. So this is really what we have to drive home, that social distancing.
Got it. Let me ask you this, Dr. Jen. We have been hearing that the states are doing well despite hearing some of these troubling numbers. I know yesterday was one of the toughest days hearing Phil Murphy talk about the numbers in the Garden State and how they have now surpassed the people who lost lives in 9/11. How are we actually doing, though, state by state in our area?
Right. So we do know that New Jersey is number 2. You know, all this really matters to our region. I live in Philadelphia, but I practice in New Jersey. You know, this affects all of us. But the biggest thing is to remember what we can do and how much we can accomplish. Yes, we see the models. Yes, we see the projections. But, you know, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but this social distancing is so important. I really need people to take this seriously. The 6 feet away, staying away, not going out if you don't have to. You know, the new orders to wear the masks when we're out and about, the cloth ones by the CDC is very important. Making sure that we're washing our hands, disinfecting surfaces, things like this. Very important.
Dr. Jen, speak to this. I know a lot of people are wearing masks now, and I think it may be giving some people the perception that we're safe. So I have on a mask, and now I can go out and about and kind of do some of these things that I haven't been doing lately. Kind of talk to that.
I'm glad you asked about that, because that's actually one of the concerns of healthcare officials in sort of saying we can and should be wearing masks now, is that there would be a lax in all of the policies and procedures we've been recommending all along. Just because we're wearing a mask, because you have to go out to the pharmacy or the grocery store, does not mean that you don't have to social distance. It doesn't mean that you no longer have to wash your hands or things like that. No, those efforts are just as important and still as important as they always have been. So that, don't let that mask be a false sense of security. That's really important. Keep washing the hands, social distancing, disinfecting, things like that.
And we do want to stress the importance of that something's better than nothing, but it's not, you know, foolproof. And sort of talk about your eyes still being exposed. I've heard a lot just about, you know, this virus kind of transferring through mucous membranes. So it's not just covering your nose and your mouth, but your eyes are exposed.
Yeah, so that's a really great point, too. We do think of the virus as primarily being spread through person-to-person contact, through the exchange of respiratory droplets. We think that the mouth and the nose, I should say, are the primary ways that the virus can get in and infect us. But it is possible that they can come through the eyes as well. So if you have glasses, this is a great time to be wearing them. Certainly eye protection is reasonable as well. Understanding that the CDC right now is primarily recommending the cloth mask, but we want to be cognizant of our entire face. That's why we say don't touch your face. So in that regard, you know, washing our hands, not touching our face, all of that stuff is still very important, and for those reasons.
I have to ask you this, Dr. Jen, you have your hair down, I have my hair down, and I have it down often. As women, do we have to worry about this virus living in our hair?
That's a good question, Lauren. I've seen that question, you know, floating around on social media. There are some studies that suggest that, you know, what we do know is that the virus can live on some surfaces, plastic and steel, for a few days, 2 to 3 days. It can live on copper for a few hours, 4 hours, I believe it is, cardboard for 24 hours, and things like that. I don't know that I've seen any studies about how long coronavirus stays in our hair, but this is where I would recommend our hygiene precautions. Again, we want to make sure that our hygiene is not just our hands, but is extended to our whole being.
I agree with that, right? We all have to be careful in this day and age. Dr. Jen, thank you so much.